reset. Sandy's on a rampage. That's going to be cleaner first than Wizards. Oh, that's just pure damage. Here goes the moment of slowness. And the Rigors there for the cleanup.
Yeah, gonna be the fight, ladies and gents. Keepers, Birdie gets used. Ito naman ginamit din.
There's the arm of deception. Holy!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2017 LOL Collegiate League Summer Mindanao Conference Series. And of course, this is the finals between the Xavier University Wizards as well as the Ateneo de Davao University Rite of Passage. We'll be your shoutcasters for this first game. I'm Atlas. With me is Chisto, not Cheetos.
Not Cheetos.
And we'll be casting that first game up today. And this is actually not a very surprising matchup for most of our regular viewers for the Collegiate League, because Ateneo de Davao Rite of Passage has been one of the mainstays of the Mindanao Conference. They've been consistently one of the top teams from this region. So I'm going to be excited to see a lot of explosive matches from these two teams. Xavier University Wizards as well is a familiar name. So we're looking at our schedule. It's just going to be the best of 5. It might go from 3 games or it might go all the way to 5. So we'll see.
Yeah, of course, both teams during best of 3 matches on their way to the final here, and I think both teams showed that they can be resilient and they aren't as flustered in the BO3 series, but now it's a BO5.
It's a lot
you
more,
need a lot more mental strength in order to endure these games, especially if you go down in the series early. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams have adjusted and prepared for their upcoming final.
Definitely, because it's definitely important for you, for the players out there, to just have that mental endurance, mental strength, and resilience to get through these best of 5s. It really is a test of how much a team can go through, because that's 5 games. That's like around 4 to 5 hours of preparation, of playing, all that pressure on them to just ensure that they're the ones going to their victory. And this is the final, so for the Mindanao Conference. So these two teams have definitely been preparing, been practicing, and this is a culmination of all of it. So this is a test of whether everything that they've done is effective.
Let's head right into pick and ban here. Let's see which these teams prioritize. And Oriana ban already targeting Kitanda, of course.
Definitely.
Kitanda has been a target for most of the bans against Ateneo de Davao. He's shown to have a very large champ pool, and Ateneo de Davao responding with a Juani pick, even with the recent nerfs. Of course, we are playing on patch 7.21, so Juani has been adjusted a bit. Even with their nerfs, I think she's still very viable jungler, offering a lot of engage and CC for team fights.
Yeah, and looking at the rest of their bans, it seems like Ateneo de Davao does not want any form of hard engage coming from Xavier University. They're blocking off the Sejuani, the Jarvan, the 4th, as well as the Thresh for that really good versatile support there. So that's the first round of bans completed. Morgana and Karma as well. So that's a lot of utility taken away from Ateneo here. As for Xavier, priority picking.
Yeah, it does leave the Galio open, and Galio rising in popularity. Even the recent adjustments, of course, Faker in Worlds picking the Galio over and over. Very high priority pick among teams, and he's a very strong pick. Provides a lot of map pressure if you do put in mid lane, and just provides a lot of tankiness and utility and safety for your carries.
Yeah, Galio is very, very strong naturally. He has the gap closer. He has a sort of escape with his Justice Punch. He has everything that a laner and a tank would need. And he's naturally good against magic damage, which is most of our mid laners. As for Ateneo, they're responding in kind with the Janna and the Maokai here.
It's interesting that they jumped on the Janna instead of the Lulu. With the recent changes to Ardent Sensor and nerfs to Janna's kit, I believe Lulu's a stronger shield bot than Janna, but Janna does provide more disengage, of course, with the Howling Gale and Monsoon.
It seems like they might need it.
All those knockups coming from the engage of Xavier University, it's really going to help the draft of Ateneo de Davao. So far, Ateneo de Davao, they're responding with a lot of safety picks here, of course. With the Maokai ultimate, you can disengage fights, a huge zone control mechanism. And
look at that.
If they do lock in the Xayah, I believe it's been locked in, it provides a lot of safety with the Featherstorm. Self-peel for an AD carry is
so
a
many
very
layers.
Valuable resource.
Yeah.
As for Xavier University, a lot of engage here. They can combo the Alistar to get in, because in order for Galio's Hero's Entrance to work, you need another champion to set you up and sort of dive into the middle of the team fight, and Gragas and Alistar do that very well.
Definitely, there's a lot of, on Savior University side, there's a lot of ways for them to jump in, enable the Galio, as well as just have a lot of tankiness and engage. As for Ateneo de Davao, it seems like there's so many layers of safety for Vath, for Kitanda, and here it seems like they are putting him on the last pick here. So the bans will be against him, the Vladimir, as well as the Syndra locked away. As for ADDU, they are banning away Savior's bot lane here, but it seems like Tristana will be the lock-in for Ad Majorum.
Yeah, during the last series of Ateneo de Davao versus LDCU, Kitanda's Vladimir was banned throughout the series. They really respect that pick, and Kitanda has shown he can play that pick, but so far kind of contrast between both comps here. What I see from Savior University is they want to engage onto Ateneo de Davao, whereas Ateneo de Davao's comp, they need to kite back in order to work. Once they stuff the initial engage from XU, they can potentially re-engage with the Maokai and deal enough damage to take down the members of Savior University. And I think XU gonna round out their comp with the Rumble in the top lane.
That's really a lot of just damage. If they get a jump on ADDU without ADDU having their tools to disengage. Just look at this. They even locked in the Azir here. So that's an extra layer, an extra wall of protection for everything that they've got. They can just disengage completely if XU doesn't play their cards right. And then just re-engage. They have a lot of damage coming from the Azir as well as the Xayah here. So it's definitely very, very scary for ADDU here, but also for XU if they really whiff all of their engages against ADDU's disengage.
So as far as the pick and ban goes, for XU, the only pick I'm really questioning is the Rumble into Gnar, because being a melee into range matchup, Gnar does counter the Rumble during the early laning phase, and once you do get into mid game and you're set in a side lane where Gnar is split pushing, it's really hard for Rumble to deal with the Gnar split push. You're gonna need to send multiple members towards the side lane, possibly the Galio or the Gragas for that collapse onto Gnar. So far, really good drafts coming in from both teams. They have a clear-cut game plan coming into each game. For XU, they want to engage, we want to fight, we want to go on to your carries. As for Ateneo de Davao, we want to kite back, we want to reposition, we want to control the fight with our superior disengage.
Yeah, it seems like they always want to have the higher ground, have the advantage of having their positioning and terrain intact, while Savior University definitely needs a lot more work in a normal matchup. This is such an explosive way to play, but of course, let's get into the Summer's Rift here with Savior University Wizards on the blue side versus Ateneo de Davao University Rite of Passage on the red side for the finals of the Mindanao Conference for our 2017 LOL Collegiate League Summer. We'll be seeing how they play out this level 1.
Of course, this is a best of 5. We have to note that this is just game 1. There could be more games, and we'll get to see how the teams adjust as we progress through the series.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Actually, something interesting to note is Savior University's AD carry is called Ad Majorum. If you're familiar with Ateneo, Ad Majorum de Gloria.
I was not aware of that, actually.
Yeah, AMDG. That's like an Ateneo thing. But of course, let's get back into the game here. Seems like just regular lines of scrimmage for both of these teams, protecting their entrances of their jungle. Don't want to risk too much and play too much into the early game, but seems like, yeah, it's just going to be regular starts here. As for the pathing over junglers,
it looks like both junglers will start on the opposite sides of the map, kind of different priorities. Of course, with Rumble and Gnar, Rumble losing that matchup, generally the Gragas wants to start bot lane, so his path leads him to the top lane, so he can influence that lane, because once Rumble gets enough security and relieve pressure in that matchup, he can win versus Gnar in the mid game, but if it goes even, it really favors the Gnar.
Ooh, Veritas trying to harass something here, but he might be stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's a lot of damage coming from Kitanda. Has to flash over the wall. Did he steal enough for it to matter? And that's going to be very important. If Kobe does not reach level 2 from this large Raptor, then I could say that's a pretty worth it trade.
I do believe he will hit level 2 after this Raptor, and he will path directly to his red buff afterwards.
Oh, he did not.
He did not.
I guess it's a little bit of an advantage for Savior that Kobe did not get his level 2. It slows down his ganking, which is pretty important for a Maokai. But that is no flash, no teleport for Veritas against their top lane Gnar, which is putting him at even more of a disadvantage in that lane.
Yeah, he needs to play extra careful because Kobe has his flash up, and flash twisted advance from Maokai is a very potent gank. There's nearly no counterplay because it is point and click. You're not able to dodge that engage. So I expect Kobe to possibly pressure the top lane even more.
Definitely, but for now, he has to path around that bot side to get his complete clear, at least for the bot side of his jungle. So it's got to be a little bit harder for Kobe for this one.
Yeah, but Maokai does clear fairly slow, especially with the delay. Gragas will clear faster. And as for Liberibet, I think he needs to prioritize getting Ad Majorum in Worlds Ahead. Because the comp of XU, they work around this bot lane. They're enabling the Tristana to play more aggressively with all these PL tools. They're really relying on Ad Majorum to go for these
going for the body slam onto this Azir here. Kitanda has to flash away and use his cleanse, so that's huge damage, huge chunk. And now I think he has to be pushed out of lane here. A little bit zone
good gank there.
Yeah.
Burning both of Kitanda's summoners gonna help Monsieur AG play a bit more aggressively, possibly. And expect them to path towards that lane again, because with cleanse down, Liberibet or Monsieur AG can flash in and CC Kitanda and lock him down for the kill.
And the thing is, neither the mid laner here or the jungler Liberibet for Xavier University burned their flashes, so they could go for a repeat gank with Kitanda. No way to escape that. They can just go in with their flash engage. And just completely set up the lead here for this mid lane, which will give a lot of map pressure for the rest of Xavier University.
So let's talk about bot lane here. Vath and Carle. They opted to go for the Relic Shield, trying to get the Ardent Sensor faster for Carle. But we are in 7.21. Of course, Ardent Sensor adjustments have been made.
Yeah,
it's not the optimal rush item because there is there's been a decrease in the magic damage you output and the attack speed you gain. So,
yeah, so it's not as good as a very first item here, but seems like a little trade-off. Ad Majorum getting pushed back from the wave, and you're definitely right. It's still a potent item. However, as a rush, because it really doesn't scale too well early, but later on, it's still very good. But here as a rush, I don't think it's going to be as potent as you said.
Yeah, of course. And what rushing Ardent Sensor mean? It means Carle won't have the side zone early. And that could possibly be a window of opportunity for Liberibet to go for more of these bot lane ganks. Once Carle potentially burns the Howling Gale for disengage, he can go in and then no wards. He's not going to be able to be spotted out. So for ADDU's bot lane, they have to play really careful.
We'll be seeing how he builds off of that. It's definitely going to be an Ardent Sensor rush, but he might realize the huge risks of that, especially in this patch. He might actually just go to a side path and go for the side stone once he recalls. I think it's unlikely, but it's going to be a huge factor in the success of this bot lane for Ateneo.
This is a huge steal for Liberibet. This counter jungling on the Maokai. I mean, that level 1 delay on the Maokai. I wonder why Maokai opted for the Raptor start, where he could have started bot lane, get a stronger leash from the John and Zaya, because John and Zaya don't need to rush bot lane. They opted for a Relic Shield. They're opting to play passive because they will have a damage disadvantage in the 2v2.
So strange too.
Kind of an interesting start for the jungler, but of course they do have a plan here. They want to scale up, so it'll be up to Xavier University to find these possible dives. With Monsieur AJ almost hitting 6, I wouldn't be surprised to potentially see a bot lane or top lane dive.
I think they're setting up something for the top lane, looking at Monster AJ's movements as well as Liberibet. It seems like they want to dive Gosu for this top lane. Seems like they don't have enough health for it, actually. It's quite dangerous, especially with Gosu being level 6, has his rage power full up, so they have to just go back to lane. It's actually interesting the point you made in bot lane, because they did opt for a more passive start, and I guess they were banking on Kobe having a lot more presence in that lane, because Carle has Ignite up. So that implies a little bit of aggressiveness or wanting to kill the opposing bot lane.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he went for the Ignite, wanting for possibly more damage. I think going Exhaust would have been a much more potent item, because for XU's comp, they only have one late game real damage threat in the Tristana, because Rumble will fall off once you get enough MR. Once you get a Locket and Redemption, it really shuts down the AoE damage of Rumble. So I think opting for Exhaust and casting that on Ad Majorum during a late game teamfight would have been more optimal, but Carle getting the Ignite, trying to be an aggressor sort of in a passive lane. Interesting choice.
We'll be seeing if it actually helps them out. He hasn't really used it yet, but we'll see. Kobe might run into Worlds here, as well as Liberibet. Uses the sapling to go for a scout, but here comes Worlds, ramming it up, knocking him up, and here comes the Hero's Entrance. Has to flash away, but he's still knocked up. Here comes the Emperor's Divide to just make sure that they just get disengaged.
Yeah, I do believe the Emperor's Divide burn there was a bit of a bit excessive, because Kobe was already out. He already used Flash, and Carle used Howling Gale to disengage. I think it was just added security, but with Emperor's Divide down, that does provide a window of like a minute or two in the mid lane for a possible gank.
Oh dear. Okay, that's just a little bit of a harass onto Bath here. He's still fighting back, however. Look at all the damage on ADDU, but
Carly is here.
It's right around the corner. Will that ignite pay off? No, he just walked by. Ooh. That is a lot of pain.
You need to be mindful of that, the feathers coming from Xayah, because the Blade Caller burst is very surprising, especially she only has, Xayah only has a BF sword. But even if she has like 5-6 feathers out, that's a huge amount of burst. So you need to be careful how you position yourself.
They're deceptively powerful. Here comes Worlds though, unfazed. He wants to make sure that Vath does not feel safe in his bot lane.
Yeah, but Vath being level 6, he already has the Feather Storm available. He won't be as afraid with the self-peel for... Well, if Alistar goes in for Headbutt Pulverize combo, he has the Feather Storm to get out.
Monster AJ trying to look for something against Kobe. He did spot him out. It's going to be Katanda. He does have this Emperor's Divide very, very soon, so not punished too hard for his overcommitment. Unless Worlds goes for something big here. Just goes for shuffling away.
Yeah, Worlds with the early Moby boots trying to go for these roams, set his team up for success, but I think their better option is to move the Galio to a side lane and dive with that, because once Alistar hits 6, he can mitigate a lot of tower damage, and with more damage reduction from the Galio, they can go for these 4-man dives if they coordinate it properly.
That's going to be a tall order for now, however. After all, it's still this bot lane is very, very safe for Ateneo de Davao University. The Howling Gale, as well as the Eye of the Storm, the Monsoon, plus the Feather Storm is going to be hard to get through if you're going to, even for a 4-man dive.
Yeah, but Carly actually picking up the early Sightstone instead of rushing the Ardent Sensor, and I think this is a smart choice from them. Adding more safety to the bot lane, letting the Xayah scale, because Xayah scales very well into the late game, and he's going to be a huge source of DPS for Ateneo de Davao University's team comp.
Now, very smart pickup here for Carly. Instead of going for the Monkey Rush into the Ardent Sensor.
The Monkey Rush.
Yep, the Monkey Rush. We'll see, though. It seems like Kobe wants to do something here. He's still level 4 compared to Liberabit's level 6. He's now only reached level 5. There's a fight between ADDU here. Not enough feathers striking the Tristana there to actually go for a snare. Could have set up a very nice, at least very close kill there.
Yeah, but with the Feather Storm down, it's another window open for XU. Will they jump through that window and pick up possible first blood? Because so far, 10 minutes is the game here. No real aggression coming from both junglers, aside from a few jungle invades. And no first blood, just both teams playing really passively, waiting for a moment to go for a 5v5 fight that could be in their favor.
They don't want to get ahead of themselves in the first game of in a best of 5. Definitely not advantageous if you go in there and screw something up and then tilt off the face of the earth.
Yeah, interesting to note though, Monster AJ is building towards a Morellonomicon instead of an Abyssal Mask or possibly an MR item. I think because Galio's adjustments, they made the AP ratios higher, so more daring Galio players who build AP can be awarded more. But that means Galio will be more squishy for these team fights.
Ooh, that is Katana trying to go for something there. But Liberabit as well as Worlds just dive in. That's a very strange Emperor's Divide. I think he was predicting something to go from behind him, but that damage from Monster AJ as well as Worlds jumping in is enough to take him out.
Yeah, kind of a lapse in vision there. I wonder where Kobe set down his Tracker's Knife Wards, because Liberabit was able to sneak around the back and pick up the kill with his explosive cask, I believe. And Kitana not respecting the Galio taunt, because Monster AJ just walked up to him and killed him. It's a very easy first blood pickup for Saber University.
Especially with around 70% health, that's still going to be a lot of damage if if Galio gets a full combo on you. And with the assistance of Worlds, he didn't even use Ignite there. That's still a lot of damage, a lot of time for those two to just beat on you.
Yeah, and I like to see this from Worlds. I like the proactivity they're showing because they are the engaged comp. They do not want to play passively here. They want to look for these engages with the Alistar, with the Gragas, and they're showing it here. They're playing their game plan properly.
And with less map pressure coming from Kitanda being a little bit behind, Means that Monster AJ might have a little more time and freedom for map pressure for the bot lane. Pulling Kobe's attention to the bot side as well, so they couldn't really extend much of a lead for Gosu in the top side.
Yeah, because Gosu has a favorable matchup, but he really hasn't been able to bully Veritas out of lane. I mean, he's been CSing a bit near to Gosu because it's only a 10 CS difference, and this is a really small difference in a losing matchup. So good job by Veritas, but also you have to put some sort of a blame onto Gosu for not bullying the matchup enough, not abusing Nar's advantage over the Rumble.
True. And because of this top lane is going to be a little bit stronger for Xavier University. Kobe being pulled to the bot side a lot more because of the pressure that Monster AJ can bring, as well as the Barabit. Could be very scary if they don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, and I really I wonder why Kobe didn't opt to go for the winning lane and play around that, because they did have an early advantage in the top lane with Veritas Flash being down, but Kobe didn't opt to go for a gank there. And this passive play from the Mauka is really setting him behind, already around 20 CS down versus
Two levels
Liberabit.
behind.
2 levels even. That's a huge lead for Liberabit in the early game.
And seeing so far, Liberabit has had more impactful ganks than Kobe. So far, Rite of Passage not playing up to their usual par from comparing them to their previous terms.
Yeah, but even the first blood going to in favor of Xavier University, the goal is still fairly even, and it's pretty much anyone's game still at this point. We're just waiting for someone to make a proactive move and how the other team responds to that. And possibly after a team fight happens, somebody can take a tower and really begin to move around the map, because right now, so far, no towers are falling down around 15 minutes into this game.
Not a lot of damage in either tower. The lanes just keep dropping and stopping in the middle of the lane. World's always looking for something proactive to do. And he doesn't even have his Sightstone yet, so because he's just roaming around trying to get those kills for his team, and that's really where most of his attention is going to. It's been working pretty well for Xavier, because they know that ADDU de Davao, even though they have a little lack of vision on the bot side, they have a good control ward, as well as control from Liberabit. Look at all those wards placed in the jungle of ADDU.
Yeah, I do believe though that Xavier University have to pick up the pace pretty soon, because in a full late game, it really favors the comp of ADDU de Davao, and if XU don't pick up their tempo really quick once they hit the power spike, I do believe they're gonna go for a faster paced game once Admajorum completes a possible Infinity Edge, and if Veritas completes Leandris, they should begin to look for more of these aggressive dives and fights.
Might be going for something. World jumps in, but not enough vision in that side of the jungle to go for a full commitment.
Yeah, respecting the ability of ADDU de Davao to respond to that, and so far, really passive play from both teams.
Yeah, it seems like in that last minute, it's just, is it going to explode? And no, they hold their horses and try to go for something safer.
Yeah, and of course, this does favor the late game scaling comp. There is only one real hyper carry threat from Xavier University, whereas from ADDU de Davao, they have Zaya, who's going to scale so well into the late game. They have Azir, a monster of DPS in the mid lane. So Xavier University, they have to pick up the pace really soon.
We'll be seeing how all that plays out. Veritas still surviving, but that CS lead from Gosu has grown to around 3 waves. Still not too relevant. But the longer that builds up, it's still not as huge of a lead for Gosu as he would want, though.
Yeah, Xavier University just reset. They're already picking up their early power spikes here. Admajorum already has his static shiv. And Monster AJ, like I said earlier, he did opt for that Morellonomica, being a more daring Galio player, not wanting to just be a normal Galio player, just build tank. Some players do find that boring. They want to be able to deal damage.
Want to do the hero play where your hero's entrance nukes the entire area.
Yeah, but Galio does deal a lot of damage. He's deceptive.
Yeah.
His damage is so deceptive. You just stand in that winds of war for a few seconds and you're just dead.
And then his passive plus the Justice Punch, there's definitely a lot of damage available here. But they have to make a move, as you said. It seems like they want to prep something for the Mountain Drake here or a bot lane play.
Yeah, they're possibly baiting ADDU de Davao to come to them. Come at us. Respond to this dragon. Fight us. They're looking to take this objective and as well bait a fight from ADDU de Davao. ADDU de Davao has to respond to this.
Are they going for it? That's Kobe trying to go for the Mountain Drake here.
That's
both teleports from the top lane going in. Look at that damage come from Monster AJ. Wow, Liberabit just goes onto Kitanda. The wall does not stop him, but now he's stuck between all that damage. Kobe is going to be taking him down along with a mid laner, but look at all that support coming from Xavier University. Now the damage is on their side, but now they're stuck. Here, trying to back away. A lot of damage coming from Vath here. Trying to go for a hero play. Look at all that damage coming from Monster AJ goes in, but that's still going to be a lot of damage coming from Vath, but he falls, and now it's time for Ad Majorum to hop around. It's still going to be a 3-for-3 actually.
Yeah, both teams trading kills there, and even with the huge taunt from Monster AJ, he isn't tanky enough, but they're still going for this fight.
And that's Ad Majorum does not have the mana to go in there, but to actually hop in.
Gosu has Frozen Mallet. They need to be careful.
If he gets caught, that's going to be a Gosu, big bad Gosu going onto them. They have to, can't really defend his tower too much. Ad Majorum has to be very, very careful.
They're trying to defend.
I do believe Gosu did not have his ultimate there, but just a little bit defense there. It does work out for him.
Yeah, but still, that fight going even for both teams, and it was kind of split up at the first with Kitanda being zoned out by Monster AJ. And a lot of the safety provided from ADDU was burned onto Kitanda instead of Cry. Let's go over the replay right now. Of course, in the top side of the fight, you see Monster AJ zoning Kitanda. He uses the Emperor's Divide to sort of split the fight, but the ult from Maokai splits up the rest of the team. And look at this. They're trying to reposition here, but Liberabit was caught out of position. He was soloed out. And this was just a very messy team fight with both AD carries sort of in the middle of it. This is really interesting positioning for both of them, but Featherstorm for the safety, Blade Caller back, kills World, just shreds him to pieces. And look at the re-engage here from Monster AJ. Look, he lands a 3-man taunt, but of course, Ad Majorum being chunky isn't able to play as aggressive enough, and Monster AJ isn't as tanky. Ad Majorum even flashing it to pick up the kill onto Vath. But at this point, I think with Ad Majorum being chunky and Gosu being more effective to kite, ADDU were able to sort of win out the trade in the end.
I think because Ad Majorum had so much downtime, he wasn't hitting, let's say the fight lasted like 30 seconds, he was hitting for around 15 or 10 seconds. So that's barely enough damage come from Ad Majorum that fight because of the weird positioning of everything in that battle. So that's one of the biggest factors, I believe, on how XU wasn't able to get a really super win in that team fight.
And ADDU that was draft, showing its strength there. They're able to kite back, able to reposition, and it shows you this early into the game, it's so difficult to engage onto their members, even without these full tank items, defensive items. And ADDU they've opted to rotate their bot lane into the top lane, possibly take down this turret. Of course, SNC already completed
this is a battle for first turret of the game. That's a valiant defense coming from Veritas.
Tristana does push fast though.
But seems like Gosu trying to go for some defense here.
Buster shot, just get out of here. I don't want to hit you.
This is still going to be a race though.
This is a lot.
This is a lot of frontline bodyguards for Ad Majorum. I believe they will be able to get the first turret of the game, especially with explosive shot helping them out here. But of course, in response, a few seconds after, barely a second after actually, Vath gets that top lane.
Yeah, but even the first brick going to favor of Xavier University, gold is still fairly even here, and at this point it's just a question of who can play their team comp strengths properly. If XU are able to engage onto ADDU and they're not able to peel and re-engage properly, XU will come out on top. But if ADDU are able to kite back and reposition, reevaluate the fight, and go in if they're confident enough, they can come out on top as well.
So it's definitely who pulls the trigger better for these teams. ADDU wants to use the momentum of XU against them when they want to engage. So it's definitely something that they have to keep an eye on. So for ADDU, I think it requires a lot more like mindfulness about what's happening.
Yeah, at this point, it's still fairly even because both teams can still sort of blow the game wide open with a huge team fight. But once the late game comes, once a Gnar gets items, Veritas isn't going to be able to deal with him, and there is that Gnar split push win condition for ADDU University.
Definitely a valid point there. We'll be seeing how Liberabit trying to go for some deep vision against ADDU. They're trying to get to this mid lane. This will open up the map a lot more for them. It's going to be very advantageous. So they are pressuring, stealing resources. Is he going to chew, bite off more than he can chew? No, he just body slams out of there.
Libero is showing his bad job, but there's an engage in the bot lane.
Oh dear, that is going to be very, very frightening for Veritas. Junk Shield tries to go for something. That's going to be the hero's entrance. I think he's going to save him. And that's the badge from Veritas, knowing the limits of his champion, barely alive. Needing the help of Monster AJ though, but now it's going to be the teleport into this mid lane as the rest of ADDU sees this as a signal to go for the mid lane turret. This is going to be the two tanky members, Libero bit as well as Worlds, pushed away by the Monsoon, but now still Kitanda setting up his territory in the mid lane. They're still going for it. Monster AJ dealing so much damage against Carlay, but he's between everyone now. And Mayorem, what are you doing there? Has to flash over. Oh man, that was so far from his team.
Yeah, after Monster AJ uses here,
they're still fighting. Trying to go for something. Emperor's Divide. I think he sacrifices his life to get Worlds. It might open up something for Vath to go continue killing him. Worlds does fall from the damage of Kitana eventually. So this is still going to be a win for ADDU.
Yeah, after Monster AJ opted to use Hero's Entrance in the bot lane, it immediately signals ADDU we have a numbers advantage in the mid lane.
Gutsy.
We will go for this star, but are they going to go for this Baron? This is kind of risky with Libero being up, and Veritas has teleport. But I wonder if they are responding. They do not have vision of it.
But they are pinging it. They are saying, oh man, they're getting it. And they're getting this a little bit too slow as they'd like. This could be a big throw.
I think this is for
Equalizer. Equalizer's not up for this Baron pit fight, but here comes ADDU. That's a lot of damage getting onto them. Might delay it long enough for Libero to get there. Actually, Libero gets there, and Vath stuck behind the wall. Veritas just roasts him for some chicken tonight.
Yeah, disaster strikes for ADDU.
Oh dear.
An aggressive call onto the Baron. They're not able to deal enough damage to take it down instantly, and XU responds. But let's look at this team fight that led to the series of events that we just saw. Of course, a very split-up team fight there. Monster AJ not having his Hero's Entrance up. There's a lot less peel for Ad Majorem. And
this was unnecessary from Kitana.
Look at this. Azir's turret takes down Monster AJ at the end of the fight. I do believe, he Justice Punch back to the turret, and it takes him out at the end. And with a numbers advantage and their jungler being up, it signals ADDU to go for the Baron, but
just not enough
with
damage.
Carlay not constantly shielding that, I do believe they didn't deal enough damage to actually take it down that quickly. It wasn't 1k, and
it was a matter of seconds.
Able to steal it away. That is a huge win for their comp. Now they have the ability to siege with this Tristana. This is a huge win for XU. They need to push now, and they need to do it fast while they have the Baron buff.
It seems like they are just recalling a bit from now, setting up for something around the top side, mid side as well. But that was a huge misplay, actually, from both teams. First with how they engaged with that fight. Second with ADDU overcommitting onto the tower, losing Kitanda, which would have helped them a lot if they had just pushed away XU from their stolen mid turret. They could have just went for Baron, do it fast with both Kitanda and Vath, and just get it done. But then Kitanda falls. That gives XU enough time, actually, to just steal the Baron away.
Yeah, but you wonder, if Carlay opted for Ardent Sensor, you think they would have finished that Baron faster? I mean, early game choices affecting the mid game, and that possible item choice not rushing that for more damage, costing them a lot here.
Definitely. It's now XU has a lot of power over the pace of this game now. They are doing their aggressive moves here and might go for something. Hero's Entrance against Kobe. Kobe gets pushed back. That is a dead tree right there. It seems like they might just regroup around this top side or go for the mid lane, actually.
That was a picture perfect, frame perfect as well. What was that Gnar?
What was that Gnar ultimate? That was very strange.
He was raged. He was mad that they stole Baron.
So now that's a huge, that's another huge ultimate away from ADDU. This gives XU even more freedom to just take these turrets.
Yeah, and of course, with Baron and Proud Minions, it's going to be hard for Azir to clear these waves because they have added magic damage resistance. Gosu does not have Gnar. He shouldn't be pushing forward like this.
Yeah, this ultimate like that.
There's a lot of engage. Ooh, Kitanda.
Has to be careful.
Look at that damage from Prince of War, just chunking into half health.
That's the power of the Morellonomicon and the Zhonya's Hourglass. So
and item choices.
Definitely a lot of AP. Their equalizer on the floor, trying to go for something. Gitanda does this as a signal to go in with his Emperor's Divide. Veritas activates his Zonias as well. I think it's now XU's time to get out of dodge here, but they're still going in for Kobe here. Monster AJ has to go for it. Look at the damage from the Winds of War. Libera trying to go in. Will he die for it? But of course, Kobe gets taken down. Gitanda also gets shot down by ADDU. He's going to go for the gold here. Gosu gets shot down to the ground and has to flash away Vath. And he may be trying to go for something heal, but look at that. That heal as well as the Eye of the Storm from Carlay helps him survive that. ADDU diving into deep, but this gets XU what they need, and this is a second tier mid lane.
ADDU being trigger happy there. I see the resets in my eyes. I'm going to W in and pick up these kills, but that shuts him down and just crits him twice and destroys him.
Gets a little bit of a heal there, plus the shield helped him out.
Let's
break
go
down
fight here.
that
and
fiesta there.
A lot of ultimates burnt early, and Veritas with his use of Zonias is able to get out with a splash. They're not able to take it out instantly. And I think this is overextension from Kobe. I mean, look at all the damage coming towards Amaka. He's still squishy, and look at the Winds of War damage onto the members of ADDU. Just a lot of damage from an AP Galio, and at this point, both teams trade junglers, and they're going to take down the tower here, but ADDU says, no, I'm going to go for these kills. I'm going to hop in, get a crit onto Ghost, and take him down. Boom. And then Trigger Happy, who jumps in again and dies.
They definitely could have gotten a lot more if he stayed alive, I think.
Yeah, kind of over-eagerness from Savior University. They need to play a bit more composed and go for more objectives instead of opting for these kills, because if they stall this game out, their lead will get a bit irrelevant. Of course, even around 3.5k gold, that won't be as relevant once this game gets past around 35 to 40 minutes, because the more items the hyper carries from ADDU have, the more items Azir and Saya have, they're going to be more effective in these team fights, and it's going to be extra harder for XU because they rely on ADDU for a lot of the DPS. If ADDU keeps hopping in aggressively and mispositioning,
they have no way to damage,
they
no way
have
to
no
push
way
as
to
well.
win these team fights.
That is such foolhardy use of the rocket jump. He doesn't have it now for around 9 or 10 seconds.
It's a quick cooldown though, and he did have the safety of the hero's entrance, just in case he was jumped, but I don't think he needs to fear anything from Ajana and Zaya.
Yeah, I think that because XU has a pretty okay lead right now, they can opt to go, of course their playstyle for this composition has to go in hard, go in fast. But they can approach this a little bit more slowly, because earlier, if they had tried to go for the game-ending chain of kills from ADDU, and if that happens again when ADDU gets caught, they just lose faster instead of winning faster. So I think they can afford to chill a little bit and at least be a bit more composed with how they approach their sieges.
I do believe XU could wait for an opening though, once they see an opening possibly onto Carlay, because in these fights, generally you don't want to start the fight onto the Janna. If Janna is perma-CC'd at the start of the fight, she won't be able to use her Monsoon, won't be able to use her tools for peel. It removes a lot of safety from ADDU, and if they're able to take out Carlay instantly at the beginning of possible team fights, it's going to be a huge win for Savior University's comp. And I think right now they need to look for that opening. They need to sort of find a body slam flash engage from Liberabit.
Pry that opening with huge force, which is what they have.
Yeah, because this Gnar split push is going to be such a burden to deal with. It's going to be such a headache for Savior University, because they're going to need to send more than one guy. At this point in the game, with Mothma Morpheus already on Gosu, I do believe Veritas can't 1v1 him. And they're doing the right thing here, sending more than one guy. I wonder if they'll find him. He has begun challenging his recall.
Ooh, just barely. Oh, he stays. Veritas is going to try and 1v1 here. Jumps over, meets ADDU, and meets his doom. I think the equalizer is overkill there. I think this will signal ADDU maybe to go for a play on Baron, but it's still quite risky. Yeah, don't want to do the same mistake as earlier.
Numbers advantage for Savior University. I want to see them go for an aggressive Baron here. Gosu is down for 30 seconds, and he does have teleport up, but I do believe Savior University could possibly bait a fight here. They can go for the Baron, and once ADDU overcommits, they can peel for a team fight and win with their superior numbers advantage.
This is still quite dangerous. Look at the damage from
the tank. Just 80. What is he?
Look at that. Zon used to just delay them even more.
they need to go for
Admayorum
deep
setting
at
up
this
for
point.
something, but that's going to be Monster AJ just flashing over perfectly. But I think now XU, the cause of this is they have to disengage. Carley, a little bit dangerous there. Look at that three-man body slam into the hero's entrance, knocking up nobody, but giving them enough for a signal to go in. Admayorum can get for the resets here. Look at those crits, triple kill. I think Kitana is going to be a little bit of trouble here, but I think they can just end the game off of this. Death timers are at 40 seconds.
World Slash in the base.
They can go and get this. Tristan is a very, very quick pusher. And look at that Veritas in the bot side. Gosu trying to defend. Admayorum still going forward. This could be costly if Xavier University's AD carry does not play this right. Kitana can deal a lot of damage, but inhibitor down for the bot side. Bath 20 seconds away. Huge carry. Kitana, what are you doing? Trying to go for a kill against Admayorum. This costs them another inhibitor.
Why is Kitana trying to defend 1v4 versus the fed Admayorum? And now this will signal XU to possibly go for a Baron.
Gosu trying to go in.
Hypercar is down in Kitana, but Gosu has Road to not. They can't chase this with the Janna.
They have the Janna. Here comes Admayorum, though, trying to go for something against Gosu, but Kobe right in the front lines. Admayorum has no mana to rocket jump. Will this be his end? It actually will. Another shutdown against that Tristana. Signal something very, very bad for XU. That could have been overstaying their welcome. This now Vath is up and running. He can go help with that Baron as well.
Yeah, kind of over-aggression from XU. They did take down both inhibitors, but I believe they could have taken a free Baron there and
yeah,
possibly
definitely
set up for an easier siege. They go for the greedy call, go for both inhibitors, and it does open the... it does give ADDU an option to stall because they do not have Baron. Let's look at this team fight here. It's a mistake by a Monster AD to go for the zoning here. Kind of split up from his team. Half his team doing the Baron, and he's trying to zone 4 members on a Morellonomicon Galio. He is not that tanky, but great engaged by the onto the Janna, of course. Carly, even with the late Monsoon, not able to do anything, and Admayorum untouched, no threat to him. There's no more frontline for ADDU, and Admayorum is allowed to pop off and run free, but triple kill for Admayorum, just popping off on this Tristana, and so much damage.
Oh, that's another team fight just after the replay. Gosu doesn't even get a chance to get into Mega Gnar.
That's Baron.
Oh, that is going to be Baron. Look at all those pings. Roads, Veritas. Veritas going to be clearing the wave here, but XU's call will definitely be on the Baron side.
Yeah, Gosu.
They need Admayorum, however.
Gosu giving up 2 key picks there, once in the bot lane and now in the mid lane. He seems a bit flustered here, and this does signal the Baron for Xavier University.
Yeah, he didn't even get the chance to go Mega there, so
Kobe
this is going to be
up
XU.
though, but he does not have Flash. I wonder if ADDU can possibly steal this.
Tanda is doing a lot of damage, however. Oh, Monster AJ taking a beating from Bath. Baron as well, giving a lot of damage, but no, Mazur. It's actually not Monster, it's Mazur. Mazur AJ.
Morellonomicon Galio, ladies and gentlemen. Just percentile damage onto Kobe, and if Monsoon steals this, this will be such a tilter. A good smite.
That's going to be a smite coming from Liberabit.
Yeah, Morellonomicon Galio, just taking down Maokai.
Yeah, just bodying them.
Yeah, and at this point, Xavier University is such in a dominant position to end this game. They're in such a big lead at this point that I don't think ADDU can possibly stall out much longer if XU play their cards right, and if Admayorum doesn't hop in over aggressively.
Yeah, I think XU just has to closely, slowly close in onto their base, take out all of their structures, and just take them down because they have so much protection for Admayorum. You have Mazur, AJ, Liberabit, and Veritas. Being able to have a lot of frontline threat with Worlds there for CC as well. So they just have to go top lane, get that inhibitor down, and slowly choke them out at their nexus.
Yeah, and once XU begin to go for that play, there are very limited engage options for ADDU. It's super risky for Kitana to go for those Shurima shuffles because he is a large part of the DPS, and if he fails and gets caught at the during that sequence, they're just gonna lose the fight. And right now, there is just no counterplay for ADDU unless Admajorum jumps in. Admajorum has to play a bit more composed, a bit more safe, and just poke at this tower till it goes down with their Baron buff.
You have to be very, very careful. Even the safety of Mazur AJ as well as Liberabit cannot defend if Admayorum just jumps in willy-nilly. But I think they got this in the bag. They just have to keep constantly pushing in the waves and pressuring the top side of the map. Just waiting. That's actually very good wave clear coming from Kitanda, even with the Baron empowered minions, doing a pretty decent job with 3. Actually, it's not.
They can't dive in though, but it will be a risky dive because if ADDU are able to kite back, they can still possibly win the team. But going for the Shurima Shuffle there,
that's very dangerous. Oh, that's going to be a body slam coming from the Liberabit.
AJ
trying to go in with a hero's entrance behind enemy lines now. But this is just going to be Gosu alone against the rest of their team. I think he is going to fall. And that's going to be the end of ADDU here with the 2 members down. Admayorum just prepared to just jump on him. It's going to be 3 inhibitors down. These Nexusers are falling very, very quickly to these Baron-empowered minions. They just have to focus on the Nexus here. Kitanda as well as Bath cannot deal enough damage in this fight, and this is going to be GG. Saber University takes game 1 of this best of 5 between the Saber University Wizards and the Ateneo de Davao University Rite of Passage.
Yeah, Saber University with a decisive engage there. Decisive quick, flashing in. It nets them the 2-4-0 trade, it nets them the game, and they're 1-0 up in this series.
I think that was very well played there by the jungler and the mid lane of Saber University. Like Mazur AJ and the Barabas just being able to work together, get those engages that their AD carry needs. And that's really all that they needed. Have their hyper carry do the damage, while the rest of them do everything they can to keep him alive, as well as make sure that the enemy team can't get out of range.
Yeah, and I do believe for an adjustment for the second game, Rite of Passage has to ban away the Galio. That pick, the Galio pick, was able to save the side lanes a lot. During the 1v1 in the bot lane, of course, Galio able to save his top laner in the 1v1, and I think that's such a key pick for Saber University.
Definitely. So that was just stellar from Saber University being able to close out that game after a series of decisive moves. But of course, that's just the first game of this best of 5. We'll be seeing more games today. Of course, we were shoutcasters for that first game. I'm Atlas. With me was Shisto, not Shiros. And we'll be back for game 2 after the break. Is going to be taking him down along with a mid laner, but look at all that support coming from Saber University. Now the damage is on their side, but now they're stuck here, trying to back away. A lot of damage coming from Vath here. Trying to go for hero play. Look at all that damage coming from Monster. AJ goes in, but that's still going to be a lot of damage coming from Vath, but he falls, and now it's time for Admayorum to pop over here. Trying to go for something. Emperor's Divide. I think he sacrifices his life to get Worlds. It might open up something for Vath to go continue killing him. Worlds does Liberabit get there. Actually, Liberabit gets there, and Vath stuck behind the wall. Barrett is just doing their aggressive moves here. Might go for something. Heroes entrance against Kobe. Kobe gets pushed back. That is a dead tree right there. From the Winds of War. Liberabit trying to go in. Will he die for it? But of course, Kobe gets taken down. Kitanda also gets shot down by Admayorum. He's going to go for gold here. Gosu gets shot down to the ground and has to flash away Vath. And maybe he's trying to go for something real, but look at that. Parlay, a little bit dangerous there. Look at that 3-man body slam into the hero's entrance, knocking up nobody, but giving them enough for a signal to go in. Admayorum can get the resets here. Look at those crits, triple kill. I think Kitana is going to be a little bit of trouble here, but I think they can just end the game off of this. Death timers are at 40 seconds. Oh, that's going to be a body slam coming from the Barabin. AJ trying to go in with a hero's entrance behind enemy lines now, but this is just going to be Gosu alone against the rest of their team. I think he is going to fall, and that's going to be the end of ADDU here with the 2 members down. Admayorum is prepared to just jump on him. It's going to be 3 inhibitors down. These Nexusers are falling very, very quickly to these Baron-empowered minions. They just have to focus on the Nexus here. Kitanda as well as Bath cannot deal enough damage in this fight, and this is going to be GG. Saber University takes game 1 of this best of 5 between the Saber University Wizards and the Ateneo de Davao.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.